You may know who you're voting for, but there are other questions on the ballot that could slow you down when voting tomorrow.
One thing that you might not know is that there is a time limit for you to decide.
There's a 4-minute limitation by statute to vote. We're going to have to enforce that if we want to avoid drastic lines.
That's right. Secretary of State Michael Adams says there is a 4-minute time limit for voting. To get you ready, WKYT's Kristen Kennedy breaks down what might slow you down at the ballot box.
Let's start with what every voter will see on their ballot: 2 constitutional amendments. The Secretary of State said it best. The 2 amendments are long, complicated, and written in legalistic language. If you're reading them for the first time at the polls, you may have a tough time understanding them.
2 years ago, because we had these 2 long amendments, people didn't know they were on there, didn't know what they meant, and they were standing around in the voting booths Googling.
So tonight, we will break them down for you. Amendment 1 would add language to the state constitution saying people who are not U.S. citizens can't vote in Kentucky elections. Supporters say the amendment clarifies wording that's currently vague. Opponents argue the problem doesn't exist. A vote yes on Amendment 1 would add the language. A vote no keeps it what it currently is. Amendment 2 would allow Kentucky lawmakers to use tax money to fund private and charter schools. It doesn't say how those funds would be distributed. Lawmakers would decide that. Supporters argue it allows parents to make more choices about their children's education. Opponents worry it would damage the public education system and hurt schools that are already struggling. The question over whether to opt out of the state's medical cannabis program is on the ballot for many. Some governments decide for themselves. Others are leaving it up to voters. In our area, it'll be on the ballot in 11 counties, including Scott, Bourbon, Clark, and Woodford counties. Cities like Georgetown are also letting voters decide what should happen within their borders. And in Fayette County, voters will get to decide on a proposed new property tax to fund improvements to Lexington parks. The tax would amount to an additional 2 1/4 cents per $100 on all real taxable property. Those in favor say it would benefit everyone. People against the increase worry about additional financial burdens for families and equitable distribution of funding. For WKYT Investigates, I'm Kristen Kennedy.
You can stay up to date on our campaign coverage and much more with the free WKYT News app. Just scan the QR code on your screen right now to download it, and you'll also get push alerts sent right to your phone when the latest news breaks.